All right, chat. Coaching staff, good to go. NHL team, good to go. We do still need to sign some AHL options, particularly as cap whales. So Ratzlaff, Harenstam, and then Endo is there as the backup. Defensively, we're going to take Manson out for Sandin Pellikka. Hollowell will be out for Korolev. And we'll leave Topi Niemela in there. Delzato is going to be out for nobody. And we don't really have that left side depth anymore, huh? Looks like it's not a great fit no matter what. Okay. Still, AHL defense, not bad. A mix of some younger guys and some veterans. And then the AHL team is apparently a phenomenal fit. Boris Korobov is not ours, though. Sundqvist is. And we want him in there. Anybody else who isn't ours? Boris Tulipov is also not ours. So we can bring in a couple of forwards that are decent. One in particular, at the very least. Let's see. We'll go for the veterans who are more likely to take the two-way deals. Let's, you know what? People pointed him out before. Let's bring in old Stevie Moses. We'll pay Moses a boatload of money. Except 12 mil, which I would never refuse. You kind of put the Leafs in a situation. No depth, so it was wrong. I mean, Austin Matthews won't be wrong for taking the money. Like, he can't be expected to take a team-friendly deal, but again, my standpoint is the Leafs shouldn't aim to bring him back. They should trade him at the draft, 100%. They won't. They should. Let's go for Patrick Hornqvist and Sam Gagner after this. I want those first deals in. All right, Petterstrom's in as a goalie coach. Steve Moses is in. We lose our first spring training, but playing too much baseball. Preseason game. All right, Patrick Hornqvist. Let's pay you a good amount of money. Thinking about $5 million. Again, if only EA added a way to do this in a faster manner. If only this mode was HUT. If only, if only. Let's also bring in Sam Gagner. For the AHL team, same question to the team. What do you do if you're the Bruins GM? Resign and move to fucking Barbados and spend the rest of my life on a beach. That's what I do. I say, fuck it. All right. Hornqvist signs. Gagner signs. There we go. All right. All right. Okay, we look good. So NHL-wise, just to confirm, Hardigan, Misa, Nylander, German, Celebrini, whatever the hell, and Michkov. Graves, Geeky, Sale, Hirvonen, Peller, Noel. Defense, Riley Lamoureux, Sokolov, Kuhlman, Lannon, Havlid. I think it's going to have to stay that way. We'll deal with the -2 on the third pair. It is what it is. It's really not that big of a deal. Barneson and Joseph Wall, the goaltenders. Kulak and Steves as the healthy scratches. And then AHL-wise, we're going to get Tulipov out of there. We'll go for Hornqvist. We'll get a little bit of grit in the lineup. But we do need to sort this by potential. And those low elites are going to be given every opportunity. Every opportunity to deliver. It's a high 9 for Fraser Minton. Medium 9 for Gunnarsson. Oh boy. Well, that fourth line combination is only, or it is a -2, but it is what it is. Medium 6. It's either Lakiramaki or Perot. We'll go for Lakiramaki if it makes sense. Guess we'll do that instead and get Perot onto that third line. So Kiiskinen, Lakiramaki, Dvorsky, second line. And then we will go with Little Lume Sundqvist, who are all terrible right now, but they are low elites. So if those overalls skyrocket, we'll be good to go. The alternative is you put one of them on each line. Maybe we want to do that instead. Maybe we put one of them on each line. Let's go with Kiiskinen, Dvorsky, Sundqvist. Perot, Minton. Not Perot, Minton. Perot, Lume, Lakiramaki, Little, Minton, Gunnarsson. Spread the wealth a little bit and see if that helps the development. We'll try that instead of putting them all on the top line. Can't really go wrong either way, but that'll be the approach. Throw the toddler line out there. All right, you know what? Screw it. For Knuckle Puck, new follower, let's do it. Toddler line it is. Sink or swim. What's the best film starring Hulk Hogan? No holds barred. It's not even close. Terry Funk's in that movie. That's all you need to know. All right, I think we are good, Rocky, because he's not the lead actor. Also true. All right, William Nylander, Morgan Riley. And who else do we give a letter to right now? It's almost up in the air. Let's give it to Saron Noel, because everyone else is completely unproven at the NHL level. Now I think we're good. We should be over. Yeah, we are over. Good. Perfect. Let's do it. It's time for Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. Yet again, Knuckle Puck with the sub as well. You're too kind. The alert's being broken and it bothers the crap out of me. Let me tell you. It does. It does. It does. Over under 34.5 wins, just like last season. Matthews did re-sign in Arizona. Marner re-signed in Columbus, and both took hometown discounts, even though Marner's not from Columbus. All right. We start off our season against Detroit. And let's take a look. 80, 86, and an 81 compared to 82, 84, and I didn't see what it was at the end. So the Red Wings offense doesn't really have us all that outmatched, which is good, which is very good. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Will this be the year? We've had 2 down years. Last year, we got the first overall pick. Can we turn that into a successful team? That is the question. I'm going to scoot over here because I just realized I haven't been aligned with the camera the whole time. I'm a professional. I'm telling you. 3-0 to start the year. 3-1, excuse me. I missed the Washington loss. 5-3. I mean, that's better than we've started off most of the recent seasons with. Michkov, 6 points in 8 games. I would not have expected him to really be our leading scorer at any point. 4 points for Macklin, 5 points for German. It's a kid line. Throw the toddler line out there. Like, Sin, you are the biggest fucking nerd. And I love you for it. And I love you for it. All right. Through November. We don't really have a goalie controversy to worry about. Barneson's our guy. Back-to-back shutouts, not ideal. Not ideal. Shutout Florida 5-0 though. Revenge. Lose to Mitch Marner. Lose to Austin Matthews. And Connor Geeky suffers an abdominal strain. All right. 14-9-0. Still not bad. Nylander now leading the team in points, and we are in 3rd place in the Atlantic. Okay. So that does put Alex Steves at center for the moment, which is what it is. I am okay with this. Temporary. Did it show the Oilers at 17-2-2? I mean, the Sens are 18-2-2. 18-2-2 for Ottawa. Oilers are 17-2-2. Jesus. Arizona's up there. Look at what happens when Austin Matthews takes a team-friendly contract. Then again, not as if the Leafs haven't been in a good spot regular season-wise for the past few years. I'm going to go through January before we consider any lineup changes because for the most part, got to be honest, I don't really think we need lineup changes this year. I think now we just be patient and wait to see if the teams turn the corner a little bit. Connor Geekie will be back. Misa's already up 2 overall points this year, which is great. Win over Minnesota. I mean, still, I was about to say, still haven't lost in overtime. Then immediately we lost in a shootout to Carolina. One of the low elites just fractured his jaw in the AHL, which is not great. 22-12-2. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Michkov leading the way. So Hardigan, just 13 goals, which is shocking given his abilities. 19 points for Misa, 24 for Nylander. We could probably change up that top line. German on 22 points, 2 goals. Macklin's doing okay too, and then Michkov. Okay. Honestly, maybe go German, Macklin, Nylander, Hardigan, Misa, Michkov. Third line, Miles Graves, not amazing, but not dreadful. Connor Geekie, not amazing, but not dreadful. Edward Sale, not amazing, but not dreadful. So, Roni Hirvonen, 10 points. 12 for Josh Pillar. And the 2 for Sarah Noel. Only 4 penalty minutes, but damn it, he's a force out there. He's a presence. No one's trying any funny business with him out there. Morgan Riley, 1 goal, 26 assists. Next to Maverick Lemeru. 15 points for Vitaly Sokolov with the 20 from Corson Ceulemans. And Frederick Lannon. Not that bad with Hovland. So our defense has actually been pretty good. Goalie-wise, Barnes. Wow. 907 for Wall, but a 920 with 2 shutouts for the rookie. Man, if he can keep that up. And Steve's had a goal in the 5 games that he played. AHL-wise, I don't know if we're seeing... Well, I think Sundqvist has already gone up like 5 points, hasn't he? He was the one that was a 47, I think. So that strategy appears to be working. Playing them on the top line. Ratzlaff with a 913. Harenstam with a 911. That's not bad. Both goaltenders doing well. Again, they're learning from the best. All 17.55 million of the best. Canadian hero. Jordan Oosterley, 22 points in 31 games, leading the AHL in points. The Marlies currently in a playoff spot, but not nearly as dominant as they were last year. Let's see, around the league. McDavid, Draisaitl, they're going off. Matthews and Schmaltz, Keller up there as well. Bedard's up there for the Coyotes. Beniers has Burakovsky to work with. As Matthews and McDavid are up there for the league lead in goals. As is Nico Salminen, who we did not draft this year, or last year, the last draft. We did not take this guy with either of our top 2 picks because he didn't have a gold X factor. That might have been a mistake. Defensively, Evan Bouchard's crushing it. Thomas Chabot, Sin's favorite defenseman, Adam Fox. And 13 goals for P.O. Joseph. Not bad. Rasmus Dahlin has 15 points. Figure that one out. Goalie-wise, the winningest Stuart Skinner. Sorry, Oilers fans. Shutout leader with 5 is Matt Murray in Los Angeles. And save percentage leader right now among starters is the unbelievable Jacob Markstrom. Nedeljkovic is also up there for Vegas, Georgiev. And for the rookies, yeah, Salmonen ahead of Michkov, German, Hardigan, Misa. We got a lot of people in competition, though, for Rookie of the Year. Even Barneson with those 30 games played so far. You never know. You never know, you never know. But, yeah, Montreal's finish forward might cost us a fair amount. Let's keep the lines going here for the most part. Those slight changes to the top 6, but we should be good to go. We got to get Brody Little back in the lineup. We'll take Gagne out. Come on back, Brody. I don't know if I've ever seen a goalie win Rookie of the Year in this game. It is a rarity, to say the least. The calendar right now is glitched and is showing NHL and AHL games. Neat. All right, that was interesting. 28, 18, and 3. Well, for those that bet the over, unless we have a horrific collapse. I mean, February 1st, 29, 19, and 3. Third place in the division. Marner leading the way. Not Marner. Fucking Nylander. I read freaking Marner again in the chat. I had scrolled up. Ugh. All the Mitch Marner talk. And, of course, we just saw him in the standings, too. Actually, no, we didn't. That's what I was going to say. Was that we didn't see Marner there, but we did see Matthews in terms of the stats. Everything's fine. I'm great. Don't worry about me. German, Macklin, Nylander, Hardigan, Misa. That second line seems to be clicking a little bit better. Third line, you could argue, still not quite ready for prime time, but benefiting from the playing time. So if we decide at the deadline we're going for it, essentially, we will be acquiring a third line and dropping these 3 down to the AHL, which would be a great boost for the Marlies. Defensively, you see Misa's name and not think of Jar Jar Fair. Defensively, we look good. Barneson and Wall still playing very well. Wall has only gotten 9 games. But honestly, who gives a shit? Because there's not a fatigue system for goalies in this game, so fuck it. I'm fine with our younger guy getting a lot more games. Very few games in February. Let's go to March 1st. The deadline won't be much further from there. So we beat the Bruins. We beat the Avs. We crushed the Kings. One of those younger guys gets hurt. And with that win over the Sharks, we hit the over. 71% of the points were on the over, but enjoy them. So we are 8 days out from the deadline. 35, 21, and 3. I think we have to make moves at the trade deadline. Get a third line that we know can be a little bit more competitive. Honestly, even just add to the top 6 and bump people like Michkov, Hardigan, and Macklin down. The third line honestly hasn't been that bad, though. But you could argue they'd benefit, you know, better from being in the AHL. We really could use a right defender as well, but I don't want to not have Maverick and Coolman's in their spot because they're benefiting from it and developing pretty fast. So a third pair right D spots. An interesting one. We could technically put Kulak in there. I think we're lined up for a pretty interesting trade deadline here. So we beat Calgary. We get crushed by Carolina. Lose to Dallas as well. St. Louis we lose. Ah, shit, I didn't mean to send that against Boston. It's fine. We're going to list ourselves as conservative buyers. Not that it matters. I was going to check extensions. Ooh. Okay, let's see who's out there. Again, I pretty much will only target players that are on the trade block because they are easier to acquire. Well, fucking hell if Cam Fowler wouldn't be a great third pair right D. Or John Klingberg, for that matter. Not with that contract. So we will keep the Duck Man himself, Cam Fowler, in mind. Rasmus Anderson. Could keep Anderson in mind. That could also be a situation where we pick up veterans like Jack Roslovic to improve the team. Matthias Ekholm's down there. He's fallen off pretty hard. Carolina shopping Rodriguez, Wenberg, Bertuzzi. Some veteran forwards there. I saw Connor Brown. Anybody else? Sorted by overall. Sagan's out there, but he's still got an extra year on his deal. Wallman, Mayfield, Athanasiou. So Detroit is also an option. Okay. Edmonton, nobody. Anybody else selling? Ooh, the Kings. The Kings are selling. The Canucks just moved Mikheyev. The Kings are also getting rid of quite a few people. Minnesota getting rid of quite a few people. Montreal getting rid of quite a few people. Nashville getting rid of quite a few people. New Jersey, not so much. Islanders are only moving Comtois. Philadelphia also looking to move people. Pittsburgh, man, there's a lot of teams selling right now. This is definitely the right year for us to just go for it. 100% the right year for us to go for it with how many teams are selling right now. Blues are only moving Saad at this point. And then there's the Canucks moving Pettersson. Vegas also trying to move a lot of players, including Joe Pavelski. Said, I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm sorry. Okay, well, there are enough Western Conference teams that I do not have to make a deal with anybody from the East to immediately regret my decision to do that. Who won Bedard? Arizona. So Vegas, we'd be looking at Pavelski, Kerfoot, Fogle. That's not great. Vancouver would be a potentially major deal to bring in Pettersson, which would be a rental. Garland, Aiden McDonough. And you got like Chiller and Carrier. I think we definitely target them. St. Louis, there's just not enough with it only being Saad. San Jose. Kopitar, Gustafsson, Ferraro. Gustafsson, Ferraro, Martinez. Nashville. Yossi, Duchesne. Yossi has 3 years left, so we can't do that. But Duchesne, Holla, Barbashev, Tanev, LeBanc, Sherry. Nashville's just made a move. Holla and Duchesne are gone. Duly noted, so that definitely hurts Nashville's chances. Minnesota, Marchand, Palmieri. A lot of forwards here again. Marchand, Palmieri, Nito, Tarasenko. We keep an eye on the Hockey World Cup somewhat. Talking the double IHF tournament, a little bit. We got Kempe, Lizotte, Bjugstad, Dursey. Connor Timmins is out there too. We could bring him back. Calgary, again, had Anderson and Roslovic, which would be an incredible 1-2 punch for us. And Anaheim had Fowler. In terms of value and who we have to move, Barneson's insane. Defensively, we don't have much. I mean, Sam Dickinson, but he's a left side defender as well. There is some competition there. I prefer not to get rid of him, though. There is that low elite in Sokolov. Sandine Pellico's on the way up. They're sharp. I can't help but think someone like Pedersen is probably out of reach. Just the amount we'd have to give up for that rental is a bit extreme. So we are going to rule out Vancouver. Unless we wanted Garland, but Pedersen's definitely off the list. And because of that, I'm thinking Anderson's probably off the list too. He's at least not as valuable. Still pretty expensive though. I do wonder, how'd you manage to get Misa, Celebrini, Dickinson, and Michkov? Just got to know what you're doing in franchise, man. There's a lovely journey to follow with the VODs. That's all I can say. If we move on from Korolev and Sharp, because they're just what they are, I don't know how close I can actually get on this deal. And this would be a pure rental as well. I don't know if I necessarily want to give up on these low elites this early, but it's a possibility. But it really would be like a rebuilding Calgary situation. They are the best assets that we have. It might be worth it, though. We move Korolev, we move Sharp. It would take draft picks from there, but we have a couple. What about our own second round pick? To just get Rasmus Anderson as a rental. What if we add one of our thirds? What if we add another third? What if we add a second, another second from Boston? Korolev, Sharp, 2 seconds, and a third to rent Rasmus Anderson. Still no. They're probably going to be too pricey then. Okay. At least we know. So Calgary's probably out. I think Vancouver's out for who we were thinking of. So defensively, the best guy we could probably get at this point is Cam Fowler. He himself would be a 1-year rental, which isn't that bad. We can give up Sharp to do it. And hopefully try to avoid giving up Korolev. What about Sharp and a third? There we go. Cam Fowler, welcome to Toronto. For a prospect and a third, we'll take that every day of the week. So that's our improvement third pair over Hovland to bring in Cam Fowler for the year, rest of the year. So from there, we're thinking forwards. We are thinking about forwards. It's either Vegas with Pavelski and Kerfoot. Nashville has like Barbashev, Tanev. Minnesota with Marchand and Palmieri. Honestly, LA. LA has Kempe. How expensive was he? Not at all. He's really struggled in LA so far this year. But on a different team, he could be something for us. Tight spot. What's up? It's looking like we're going to be a playoff team this year. Knock on wood. And there's also Trevor Moore, Blake Lizotte. If we bring in Kempe at least, it wouldn't be that bad. Can we also bring in Adrian Kempe as a rental? Break Crash Andrews' heart. There's more. There's Kiiskanen. Dvorsky's very good. Perreault's very good. I'd honestly rather keep the low elites because we don't know if they're going to develop. What if I use Lakiramaki? 1-for-1 didn't work. That's okay. Lakiramaki in a third. Adrian Kempe. Welcome to Toronto. Not bad. Minnesota. Vegas in 6, you say? I don't know what to make of either of the 2 Final Four matchups, man. I really don't. I really don't. Bradley Marchand. How would you like to be a Toronto Maple Leaf? As we try to stock up for a playoff push, using players that we can afford to move on from. Nathan Villeneuve doesn't look bad, but we have people above him. Toronto would have more than 45 skaters. Yeah, it's Villeneuve and Junior. If I give up Steve... Oh, I can't give up Steve Moses because he was one of our cap oils. Sorry to Bobby McMahon. But you're the guy on the chopping block here. I would be over the cap. Really? You think so? All right. I'll use Steve Moses then. Didn't think I'd have to use Steve Moses, but here we are. Another third rounder. Villeneuve a third and Moses for Brad Marchand. Not quite. What if we give up the 4th from Calgary? All right, Minnesota's going to be a little bit stingy here. We'll go 2 third-round picks, Villeneuve and Moses for Brad Marchand. Still no. What about that extra 4th? That's enough. Brad Marchand, you are a Toronto Maple Leaf. We have an hour left. So right side is now Nylander, Michkov, Noel, Kempe. Left side, German, Marchand, Hardigan, Hirvonen. We'll send Graves down to the AHL for the rest of the season. And then centers, Misa Celebrini, Geeky Pilar. I would like to find an improvement at center, which I think could be Pavelski. He doesn't have center on anymore. Kopitar was on the Sharks. Worst case, it's Anze Kopitar, which is a pretty good worst case to have. Either that, or we try for the really crazy deal of Pettersson. But we don't have much time to do it. Yeah, okay. I mean, there's Wenberg that's out there. Vancouver. Pettersson. Can I pull this off with limited time remaining? I highly doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it. What if we use more? Dvorsky. Perreault. A bunch of the guys that we just recently acquired who we were going to have to try to work into our system anyway. 3 very, very good prospects. And our own second. Vancouver. Come on. 2 seconds. 3 good prospects, 2 seconds to rent Pettersson. You got to be kidding me if they haven't taken it. I got to do it at this point. Our first rounder and a second. You got to be kidding me. I get that they're all... I know what their response message is. I'm just saying, fuck you, take the deal. Okay, they're not going to do it. Bail, bail, bail. San Jose. San Jose. Anze Kopitar. For our own second round pick. I'd have too many skaters. Bobby McMahon. You are a San Jose Shark. And Anze Kopitar is a Maple Leaf. We go pretty much all in at the trade deadline. All or nothing. And Mike Amadio's on waivers. Let's claim him too. We go all or nothing at this deadline. Actually, it wasn't even all or nothing, in fairness. We maintained a lot of our prospects. But it's now Riley, Fowler, Kuhlmans, Lamoureux, Sokolov, Lannon. And we can send Havlid down to the AHL. Nylander, Michkov, Noel. I can send Sale down because Kempe will play the right. German, Marchand, Hardigan, Hirvonen, Misa, Macklin, Kopitar, Pillar. And we'll send Geeky down since those guys are not affected by waivers. Some of the guys who are maybe struggling a little bit, we look to push to make the team a bit better down the stretch. As we got to get Kulak out of there for Lannon. Get Fowler on the other side. So Riley, Lamoureux, Sokolov, Kuhlmans, and now we'll play Fowler with Lannon. And then forward-wise, I mean, LOL. But Hardigan can go down to the third line. Michkov can go down to the third line. Kopitar. Look at that +5, by the way, on the top line. Kopitar, I think, will play third line. I was tempted to reunite him with Kempe. But Marchand, Misa, Nylander. German, Macklin, Kempe. Hardigan, Kopitar, Michkov. Hirvonen, Pillar, Noel. So we get Kopitar, Kempe, and Marchand at this deadline to change up the forward lines, which maybe we changed them up too much. We had Cam Fowler on defense. Who knows what this season might bring now? Who knows? But it was clear that we were going to make the playoffs. We could push to be a little bit better than we were shaping up to be. Instead of just being a middling playoff team, why not go for it? Without really risking a ton. I mean, we still have our first round pick. Let's get Josh Manson out for Korolev. And let's get Osterley out for Sandin Pellikka. Is there anybody? Those two are actually a half-decent fit together. Is there any way to avoid that -1? I don't think there is. That -1 is just bound to happen. Del Zotto's pretty much the only good fit. Everyone else is the same. All those guys are the same. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll go with Sandin Pellikka Korolev, Niemela Havlid, and then Del Zotto Hollowell, which isn't that bad. And then the centers, I mean, again, we're going to be set up pretty well here. We can get Tulipov out for Sundqvist again. Lume's in. Gagne can be out for Little. Hornqvist can be out for Kressler, just given that he's a younger player. So if we sort this by potential again, actually Korobov is not ours. So let's go with Sam Gagne. Get Sam Gagne in there. Swear to God, I keep feeling something on my arm and I hate it. And if we look at potentials, I mean, Minton, Gagne, Kressler's not that bad. Very good face-off takers. We got a medium top 6, a couple of medium top 6s still. Graves is a low elite. So out of those medium top 6s, Kieskinen and Sale will get top priority because they have the X factors. So line chemistry, isn't shaping up to be very good at all. We will see what we can fix about this if we even have to. Ooh, the rare -5. You don't see that too often. There we go. So Little, Sunkfist, Kiiskinen, Graves, Lume, Sale. Definitely not as strong of a team as we had for the playoffs last year, but it's still a damn good mix of solid prospects and a bunch of those low elites. But all in all, this could be a very interesting year, and it could be something special for us. Maybe, just maybe.